Good morning, and thank you for the honor that I was given to participate in the conclusion of this gathering. Last week we started the new year, and in beginning the new year we made each other a traditional wish, and that is that this year be a good and sweet year. It could be sweet and not good, good and not sweet, but we need both. And this is a wish that anyone can share. But this wish we also made together with another one, a different one, a strange one. A request that we act with our head and not with our tail. What does it mean to act with our head and not our tails? It can have different dimensions. It can have a personal dimension, in the sense that a person must be able to dominate himself and not be a slave to himself. Must be able in society as a person to have a relationship which isn't one of dependency, a servile one. And when we refer to groups, communities, nations and religions, it could mean a wish to have a leadership role, a protagonist role. But as we all know, to have leadership and to have a role as protagonist is often a difficult work without much gratitude, where one might not be quite up to it. And first, therefore, we have to pray for a good and sweet year, because if the year isn't good nor sweet, then it would be very difficult to be a leader. But if we want to move this into our immediate reality, this prayer for a good and sweet year is born at a time after a past year that wasn't good nor sweet for this country nor for anywhere in the world. As we know, the very many problems that we have that need to be resolved. So what is the prayer now for the role of a presence that can be made in an honorable way by religions? Because religions have often been leaders, but with compromising roles. Sometimes religions that have persecuted, sometimes religions that have been persecuted, and very often not quite up to their roles. So before imposing one's role, one has to examine one's conscience and carry out self-criticism, especially in this century, which was born with terrible phenomena of religious intolerance, among which we've just commemorated one that happened 20 years ago. We know that in all modern states, society is divided into legislative, executive, and judiciary power. But before this modern political division, if we go back to the Bible, society was divided into powers. There was the power of the king, representing the state, the law and justice, where there was justice. There was a high priest and the clergy, representing the constituted and organized religion, the ceremonial religion. But there was a third character, a third pole, that is the prophet, a person who, when things were not going well, would raise his voice, take aside the chief priest and the king and the people, and would say what was wrong. If we must, at this time, ask ourselves what should be the role of religion, religion must have, first of all, a critical role in the sense that they must participate in the cultural and political general debate and say that some things are not right, that certain rights must be defended. It's necessary to have a culture of life in opposition to that of death. Not everything that is born in an ideology in an American university can be the right one. It must be measured, it must be checked, it must be verified. But in addition to this basic purpose of criticism, there's a prophetic one that we must also have. We have to have something to say to the world in order to make it better. The year that has just started, in the traditional calculation based on a literal and some would say fundamentalist of the duty, is 5,782. This number can be divided by 7. And what does it mean? That is that this is a sabbatical year, and with this I'm not referring to that of university professors, but I'm talking about the biblical sabbatical year in which the earth must rest. We have an essential message among many, and that is that we are not the owners of the earth. We're not the absolute rulers of the earth. All that we have is at our disposal, but not for us to destroy or to abuse of. When we speak of what a religion must convey to the world, there is a message that comes from antiquity but is very valid even today. In our daily prayers, we ask for many things. Among the many things we ask for, there is a request for healing. This gathering is entitled A Time to Heal. The request for healing is expressed with the paraphrased words of Jeremiah. In chapter 17, his prophet says, "Lord, heal me and I shall be healed. Lord, save me and I shall be saved, because you are my praise." When this sentence was transposed into the liturgical text, it was pluralized. Lord, heal us and we shall be healed. Save us and we shall be saved, because you are our praise. It has been noticed, and this is a typical rabbinical exercise, it was noticed that in all of our requests in our daily prayers, this is the only request in which we add the phrase, "You are the object of our praise." Why? Can we make any other request without praise for God? The only possible answer is this, is that we have the right and the duty to heal. Healing which may be from some sickness or from other ills, and there are many, is something that, first of all, is our duty to carry out. And I'm speaking as a doctor. It's a right and a duty. In the Bible, there's a lot of talking about duties and not so much about rights. But if it is our responsibility to heal and to try to heal, the only real healer is God, and without Him there is no healing. And this healing God gives even to those who don't deserve it. And for this reason we say, "You are the object of our praise." And so here I'd like to mention our responsibility without being too sure of ourselves, because in fact the true healer who needs our work, but we need His presence, is God. And heal us, O Lord, and we shall be healed, because you are the object of our praise.